This is a fairly quick one. Should a protagonist's goals be stated or implied, and when? So the goals will normally be tied to what people call the inciting incident. And that's normally at the start because it makes it easier to understand. If you walked into a room and there's two people arguing, the first thing is, whoa, stop it. How did this happen? How did this get started? And what you want to know is who started it. So what was their goal that the other person's opposing them? And when? How long's this been going on? Have you hated each other for a long time? Was this because you've just discovered something and that's the inciting incident? Should it be implied or should it be stated? But let's go, I'll jump ahead, sorry. So, but you can also put, if you wanted to, and this could be interesting, so think about this. The inciting incident in the end, near the end of the final act. Because people see the story start, I don't really understand, but they start to get into it a little bit. Oh, this person's seems to be a bit of a mad serial killer. Oh, okay. Well, that's not a serial killer, he's the protagonist. He's acting really violently against these people. I don't understand why, but oh no, they're acting against him. Okay, I'm beginning to relate to him reacting to their bad behaviour or their bad treatment. Understand the story. Blah, 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 blah. A bit like Constantine. Constantine's a good example. Rachel Weisz, off the thing, kills herself. That's her twin sister. The detective comes through, they're both very Catholic. You begin to learn about Constantine, you know, he's there killing demons, he's the demon hunter and all this sort of stuff. So then he meets her and your sister's going to be in hell because she killed herself. Can you help me get my sister out of hell? There's all these parts to Constantine. And then you learn, because he could see demons and he had these clairvoyant powers as a young guy, he killed himself and they brought him back. But he knew he was going to hell now because he'd killed himself. And in the story of Constantine, that's an unforgivable sin, you go to hell. So now he's doing all of the work of God. He's become God's hitman in a way to try to get back on the good side of God so he can go to heaven and avoid hell. But you don't learn that in the opening. It's not in the opening inciting incidents. You learn his motivation up here. Some might say that Rachel Weisz is the major character. I don't think so, because you see her, she comes and goes from the story. She's the MacGuffin. She gets it going. For me, she's Janet Leigh in Psycho. Think about Psycho, okay? Hotel, in the shower, all that sort of stuff. How does the movie start? She steals money from the bank. And she's getting away. She's escaping. The first 5 or 10 minutes is a heist for that film. Then she makes the mistake of turning up at the hotel. So that in a way is the inciting incident for that film, because then she dies off. Psycho's a really bad example because then the main character is killed in the first bit. And then we swap protagonists onto Norman Bates and we see Norman for the rest of the movie. But you could put that at the very end and you sort of do with Norman as well, that you'll learn that Norman's mother isn't real, she's at the end. If you had to put that, you could have put that at the start. You could recut Psycho and have Norman around the hotel talking to his dead mother, then have Janet Leigh turn up, have her get killed, and chronological through that way. If you put the inciting incident at the end, it could be this, oh, I understand why he's such a psycho now. I understand why this is a horrible thing, because this is what kicked off his motivation, his goal. The goal and inciting incident can be weaved, or like we just did then, separated, so we can see the goal, or get the understanding of the goal at the end. You can see what he's trying to achieve, and now we understand why. So his motivation to the goal. So we don't have to implicitly state that one, we're showing it at the end. Can you imply what the goal is? Of course you can. You can show that through a person trying to achieve something, how they act. They're really bad. Well, someone can say, he was always bad. He's just got out of prison. He's this, he's this, he's this. He goes back to his family. His family's giving him a hard time. He says, I'm not the same guy. I've learnt while I'm in prison. And you see him trying to get back into his family's good graces. You understand that goal. He's not standing there going, I am trying to get back into your good graces. I just want you to forgive me. He's just doing things. You could possibly have another character, if you want to underline it, have another character say it to him. No matter what you do, no one's ever going to forgive you. And then, he can just say, well, I'll have to live with that. Or, I don't want your help. You say, yeah, but it doesn't matter, I'm not going to give it to you. You can have it, you can imply it all the way along. You don't have to have the person say, why won't you forgive me? I'm trying so hard to get on your good side. Both would work, depending on how you write them. I'm more of an implying guy stuff. But both the goals can be implied and they can be stated. They can be at the start and they can be at the end. Putting them in the middle could be the turning point. You know, you're halfway through, you're not really understanding what's happening. You do sort of understand what's happening. This guy is trying to help these people out after he's got out of prison and that sort of stuff. And at midpoint, someone says, the only reason he's here is he's trying to get into our good graces because my uncle is the executor of the will and he chooses who gets the money. Now suddenly you go, oh, there's an interesting twist. This guy's got out of prison. You think he's reformed. You think he's doing all this really good stuff to try to make up to the family. And then you get this realization, no, he's still a scumbag. He's just trying to weasel his way in to get money. Now, we see the second half of the film of the family's side of the story. Maybe we get a new look at him and we see, no, he is just trying to change. And we see things like, you can work that out. I just made that up, so sorry. But you could work that out as any way you wanted to is he a really scumbag? And then right at the end, why did he go to prison? And he could have gone in there, the uncle did something and he took the blame for it, or he was involved in it and he didn't rat at his uncle. And that's why now he's come back thinking that he's owed money. This is all outlining on the fly. Thinking he's owed money, but he's trying to make up to the family that he's done the wrong thing by. They don't understand why, because he's also not going to dob in the uncle. There's a little bit of complexity there. Thanks to everyone who's been doing this. It's really, really good. It's a big help. I'm not in it for all the hoo-ha that YouTube does, but it's good to know that people are enjoying what I'm doing. If you can leave a comment, we can have a conversation. You get 20% off on writerduet. It's over that side, writerduet. The books. That's a great book, Tools Not Rules. That's anyone. Just buy that and you'll be a better writer immediately. I wrote it, of course. But it's not a formula. It's not like on this page do this. It's when you hit a wall and you go, oh, I can't figure out what this character would do next. Jump into a tool. Oh, my world doesn't quite feel right. It feels a bit plasticky. There's a rule in there. Not a rule. There's a tool in there that'll help you plan and design a whole world. My protagonist and antagonists, their conflicts don't feel real. There's tools in there for that. There's just tools that are all developed from working for years in the intelligence and law enforcement type fields. So until next time, keep writing. Bye.